Hi there and welcome to another insightful and educative episode of AAU Talks on AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa. And as we always pause to bring you content that inform to transform. And we're enjoying the time right at the majestic grounds of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, where we're bringing you very transformative content that you appreciate. And this episode is also promises to be an amazing one as we discuss university branding, the case of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, bringing you good insight on why there's a need for you to brand and brand very well, and also picking a cue from one of the youngest universities, but also perspective in terms of sustainable development. Uesd promised to be one of the places that we identified, and I have with me an amazing personality here at the university to help us discuss this topic to the latter. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Right back, and then we zoom right to discussions. Be right back. Welcome back to AAU Talks on AAU TV. My name is Agyepong and we're discussing university branding, the case of Uesd. And you bear with me that every university's brand represents and shapes their ethos. It is what they stand on to reflect their vision, their goals, and their identity. And today we find or we're faced with a surfeit of identities all over, and people want to associate themselves with universities that are well branded and stick to their brand and purpose, where they can also feel belonging and also contribute their quota. So it's important that you also own a very significant brand that you don't shy from, but you protect and defend. And that's why I have with me Mrs. Mary Abena Agyepong. She is the Registrar for the University of Environment and Sustainable Development. To discuss this to the latter, Madam Mary, you're welcome to AAU Talks.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Great. Let us start with the general premise about the need for brand in the first place. I know the corporate world has seen this and they are really intensifying brand effectiveness because they see something unique in it. But from your perspective, why is branding so important to corporate institutions?
Agyepong, branding simply tells who you are. Your brand signifies who you are. And your brand shows how different you are from your competitors. And so it's very important that you do not get lost in the midst of your competitors. You are supposed to stand out. And that is why branding is so important in the corporate world. You are what you sell, and you should be able to sell who you are. Yeah.
So. Great. No, people understand that, with the corporate institutions, because it's all about profit, you need to be well differentiated amongst the many. But trickling down to higher education institutions where mostly the mandate has been more of a corporate social of a sort, social education, social support, transformational agenda. There do we find branding also playing a key role in the operations?
That's even where we really need to brand. For me, branding is more in the higher education or more of relationship. We need to build a relationship between us, our current customers, future customers, so that we will have loyal customers and future alumni. Your brand should be such that your products will still want to associate with you when they have gone or they finished school. And so you should make your brand such that your alumni want to associate with you, your alumni want to give back, your alumni want to continue the relationship even when they are done. So at the tertiary level, it is so important that we are able to brand. Because if we don't brand, we die.
You stressed on how branding as a course can play a key role in attracting or bringing back your alumni to still express interest in your growth. But how does branding play a key role in attracting the right kind of student and also the teaching and non-teaching staff for for the institution? Has branding got a role to play in bringing the right kind of people you deserve or you want?
Oh yeah, it really does. You need. There is Simon Sinek has said that people buy why you do things and not what you do. You know, and so your brand portrays why you exist. You understand? And so you realize that there are some places where you have oversubscription. People will die to be at some places, whilst other people or other brands doing the same thing are undersubscribed. You understand? So brands become very important in the attraction of students. We have very savvy customers now who are picky and who know exactly what they want, And so you should be able to sell to them, exactly what they want, so that your brand will become a brand of choice. Otherwise, I said, you die in the midst of it. Yeah.
We'll really dig into that in terms of
Yeah.
your inexistence if you fail to brand. But
Yeah.
let's look at what are some of the elements that are brand worthy for the institutions. I mean, there are a lot of things the university has in its box in terms of branding. But what is worth branding to get the right kind of people and support you require?
Okay, so in the university setting, number one is our products, our alumni. So our students, we have the service we give. You understand?
Yeah.
What the university stands for and is known for. Yeah. That is a corporate image of the university. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. And the relationship that we build. So it is very important that in all these areas, in all these categories, your brand should speak for yourself. Yeah.
Some universities have identified their niche areas as a need, as a way to intensify branding. How do you find this strategy as it's being viable as a form of branding for these institutions?
Oh yeah, it is so important. Now, a lot of the institutions have become jack of all trade, master of none. You understand? And you get lost, in it. But you need to stand for something or you fall for everything, you see. So in our niche area, as an environment, we need to stand out. Our brand needs to sell. We should be the first point of call if people need anything to be done in the area of environment and sustainable development. We are supposed to, sell ourselves. Our products should sell. Our, staff, meaning our lecturers and so on. They should be the ones to be called if they need any input into the areas of energy, sustainable development, environment, and so on. And so it is important in that area, the niche area.
There seem to be now so much a myriad of brand identities out there competing for public attention in terms of credibility and quality. What has been the turnaround story for institutions in Africa and even in Ghana in terms of branding quality, branding perspectives in your view?
Most people become complacent. You understand? A lot of our institutions have become complacent because they really even didn't have to go and look for the students. The students will come because at that point they were the only ones. You understand? Now, as I've told you, our students have become very picky. They really know what they want and so on and so forth. And so they look for specific outcomes. And if you are not able to do it, they look for somebody else who will do it. Currently, we don't have to give any exercise in a brick and mortar anywhere, anytime. Learning, the student can, as it were, regulate their learning themselves.
Yeah.
You know, some time ago it was unthinkable. Just 10 years ago, for some people, it had to be face to face. You know, but now many institutions are losing out because they were not ready, you know, for the virtual landscape. You know, some time ago, virtual learning was bastardized.
Yeah.
It was meant to be for the lazy people and for those who wanted to cheat the system and so on. But now it is the in thing. And if you are not on the virtual platform, you are losing out. You understand? A lot of things are happening. Now we have corporate people having surgery, people from all over the world operating, on somebody. And they are not present, but they are guiding the process. You understand? So a lot of people have lost out because they were not ready for the virtual world. And so these are some of the examples people have lost out because they were complacent. Yeah.
Would you want to assert that technology or technological innovations have played a key role in uprising or sanitizing institutions to take their branding seriously in this age?
Yes. Technology has played a very key role. And those who were astute and made use of what technology afforded have leapfrogged their existence and their growth. You understand? But those who were waiting for it to happen are now, trying to crawl behind those who are running. And so technology is now so important in the landscape.
You stressed on COVID-19 as also a very invasive event that also drew the minds, kind of intensified branding because it's quite competitive these days with the pandemic and learning. How has it been your experience on the general landscape of institutions in Africa with COVID-19 and branding?
COVID-19 did two things. COVID-19 exposed the unreadiness, of many institutions in Africa. You know, I'm talking technologically. The virtual world, you know, we were not ready in terms of technology support, for the teaching and non-teaching stuff. You know, we were relying more on the face-to-face deliveries, you know, and when it came for students to come online and be virtual, all hell broke loose. You understand? So people were not ready, you know, but there were some who were ready. There were some who had put their house in order. So they just made use of the opportunity and then reached their students. So COVID-19 did these two things for those who were ready and those who were not ready. And as I said, COVID-19 changed the minds, brought a change of mind about the bastardized virtual learning. Now it is the go-to. Now you can decide really to stay home and attend the lectures or be in person.
Today, branding has diversified. Institutions are associating themselves, aligning to using testimonial means with brand ambassadors and a lot. What, in your view, would you want to classify or as the composites of university branding with ambassadors? Who are the potential brand ambassadors of the university if it comes to branding with the public?
Oh, definitely. We have our alumni, you know, alumni most of the time the first line of and then we have people who are, when we honor them, honorary degrees, they also become ambassadors. I mean, faculty chairs, if we have those people, they also become ambassadors for us. But we are all ambassadors of the brand that we represent. Yeah. When I say we, management, council, we are all members.
Very eager to ask. Then, what are the expectations of these potential brand ambassadors? What is their attitude? What is the expectation for them to be a proper, excellent brand ambassadors in the first place?
They must know what the institution stands for, yes, and the values. And they should exhibit the values. They should actually represent the university in total, I mean, by their values, by what they stand for. If the institution does not subscribe to something, that person, that ambassador cannot, also partake in that. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes. So
where there can be a mismatch.
When there is a mismatch, then the institution will have to find another ambassador because we cannot change our values.
I think this plays a huge take on the university trying to reorient its constituents to be able to represent the university well. How well have you seen universities in Africa trying to imbibe their values in their constituents to represent their universities appropriately?
But I believe that all the institutions strive, through their workshops, through their information, and through their orientation of their staff and the students. They strive, to inculcate the values that they stand for in their students, in their staff, and so on. But as to whether the success rate, I may not be able, to tell. Because sometimes you go to places and you ask for the core values of the institution and people are unable to tell you. I think your guess is as good as mine. Whether the inculcation has been completed or not.
So you would have to stay with us for more on university branding with a case study on the University of Environment and Sustainable Development as we talk deep into the brand tangent from the university and how well they are pushing on with the brand perspective. Stay with us. Welcome back to AAU Talks on AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa. And as we always are committed to bring you content and inform to transform. And I'm here with Mrs. Mary Abena Agyepong, and she is the Registrar for the University of Environment and Sustainable Development as we discuss university branding, the case study of Uesd. And Mrs. Mary, let's now look into the brand perspective of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development. Let's look at the beginning with the vision and the mission. These are very key proponents in establishing your brand.
Yeah.
How is it in the UESD case?
All right. So the vision of UESD is to train and produce graduates. The mission of the university emanates from the Establishing Act of the university. Act 898 of University of Environment and Sustainable Development Act of 2015.
Right.
So the vision, mission, and all these other things are coming from the Act 898. Specifically, the mission of UESD is to train and produce graduates who are equipped with relevant knowledge and skills to be well positioned as agents and partners in the identification and resolution of prevailing environmental and sustainable development challenges.
Great.
Quite a long one.
Yeah. I think that it's really extensive and brings out the essence, the purpose that UESD stands for. Now, look into one other aspect that matters a lot is the core values that you mentioned earlier. That is the guiding pattern of the institution, and the people or the constituents represent these core values. Share with us the core values from UESD.
Our core values, we have acronymed it HOPE, HOPE. H standing for honesty, O standing for opportunity, P standing for perseverance, and then E standing for enterprising. Specifically, UESD wants to produce persons who have hope in themselves, exude hope, and are poised to give hope to the world with their knowledge and work ethics.
Yeah.
So that is the core values of the university.
Great. How have you also, I believe you have other elements that stand with great meaning that have well branded as well. Looking at the emblem, I see a very, very unique emblem you have, and the motto, which is serving the environment, securing the environment, looking at environmental sustainability.
Sure.
Let's look into the emblem's composition and the elements that bear in there and its essence to support the brand of UESD.
We have a beautiful logo.
Sure.
And it's a circular logo with 12 ridges, and has a tree sitting on a brown tree, sitting on 3 gears, and then we have on top of it, the circular thing, a blue colored. I know you are showing. The 12 ridges represents the 12 months of the year. Education all year round.
Right.
12 months of the year. And also to let us know that education never ends. And then the tree representing the fact that we are to take charge of the environment, and also the tree in the book representing the growth of knowledge. You understand. We have an open book with the tree in there. The tree is brown.
Okay.
The color, and it has green.
Yeah.
The 3 gears, the wheels, represent industry, meaning the university working with industry.
Yeah.
To produce students who have the knowledge for industry. So they are not now going into the industry to acquire the knowledge, but we are going to work together with industry. And also it signifies the entrepreneurial view of the university.
Great.
That every student leaving the university will be enterprising in nature. We have, I told you the book from which the tree is springing. Yeah, as much as it represents the growth, it's also the book of knowledge. It's not that other book of knowledge, meaning that we are going to spread knowledge through research, teaching, and then dissemination of the results. The colors of the university, we have green, blue, yellow, and white. Green for vegetation, green and yellow for energy, blue for the sky, and then the sea.
Great.
And then white for the purity. We are supposed to keep it pure.
That's amazing and very symbolic for people to appreciate the understanding behind the logo and how impactful it is to
and underneath it is our motto. Securing the environment 2020. That's when we came into being. Yeah.
So, Mrs. Mary, looking at this premise, we find beautiful brand strategy with UESD. But to the 21st century, faces a surfeit of lots of brands, compositions, brand positions, and the competition gets tougher and tougher. And the fittest has to stay very focused and very determined in protecting your brand to the end, unforeseeable future. What are some of the strategies that ought to be implemented by institutions these times to stay afloat, to stay competitive and still hold the edge, to produce education, to produce the best of what they can?
Yeah, I've told you, and I'll repeat it, that the first is the relationship, customer focused relationships. You know, we try to brand ourselves as being customer focused, number one. Number two, through our programs, through the programs that you offer, you must be relevant in the programs. And through our programs, we are charting a path to make our relevance known, and our existence, we are making it known with a loud bang through our programs that we are offering. You would realize that almost all our programs have one aspect or the other of the sustainable development goals in mind. We are trying to meet the sustainable development goals through the programs that we offer, through the kind of environment that we create for our learners. You know, our brand is going to sell because our buildings are new, and we have smart buildings, 21st century buildings for 21st century students in 21st who are learning in with 21st century technology.
Yeah.
You see, because several of our competitors are giving 19th century architecture to 21st century students, and then they have 18th century syllabus and things. But Uesd, through our modern architecture, and we are creating student-centered, environment for them to learn, serene environment, you know, with all the technological advancement that they need to learn, and with the modern laboratory equipment. We are then in industry grade equipment in our laboratories. We are branding ourselves so that we become the choice of students.
Let's look at some of the branding options that can be adopted in the private and public university settings. Would you say that well, there are some caveats in terms of exploring branding options if you're in a private university setting, and also if you're in the public setting, there are some limits you can't cross regards to branding? Or well, it's a whole field that everybody can just jump on and then just pick elements. Are there some barriers here?
I prefer challenges, not barriers. I prefer challenges, not barriers. The setting for a public and a private institution, the difference is that one is government sponsored, the other is privately sponsored. Other than that, we are all going to the same market and then fishing for the same students. And so it is important that I don't really see any barriers. The difference between us is who sponsors us, you know. But we have to go into the market and then look for the same students. It's the same pool, you know. And with the world becoming a global village now, and with people wanting to come to us, we have to compete as much as the private universities. Yes. So your programs, the kind of collaboration, your research output, the service rendered, all these really count. And we will have to up our game in that area if we want to stay afloat. Yeah.
Let's zoom into collaboration and industry partnership as one of the pillars of building a good brand. How has the UESD story seemed to be in terms of industrial partnership and collaborations in building a USD brand?
Oh, it's we've started well, and I know we will continue. We hit the ground running. I think this is a common phrase. We hit the ground running, and we have started with collaborations with the industry. In the areas where our mandate allows us, in the areas of environment, with Environmental Protection Agency, Ministry of Energy, GNPC. This is just to mention a few. The university management has the blessing of the council, the governing council, to form these collaborations. We have had several very fruitful interactions with industry. Some we have already signed the MOU, MOA. Others we are still developing the MOA. We are inviting industry to, have an input in the curriculum. That's one area of collaboration that we are vigorously pursuing, so that we do not produce irrelevant students or products. We are also in our collaboration talks. We are also asking that our students come for internship. They take them for internships during their vacations, so that the students are abreast of current trends in industry, so that they will be useful when they graduate. And so we have started. There is also collaboration even inter-universities, and then universities here and abroad. We are having collaborations and picking up the best practices, and also agreeing to collaborate in areas of research, in areas of teaching, in areas of seminars, workshops. We have gone far, and very significant with us here at Uesd is a community engagement unit, where we are liaising with the community, so that they see us as relevant neighbors, and impacting on their lives positively. The universities present in Somenya should result in a people say 100-degree turn, but I think 3,000-degree turn for the town. And I am so sure that our brand come 3-4 years in the environment of Somenya and Yulo Krobo, Manya Krobo, and all the people around, it become a household name. Yeah.
Let's look at the future of the UESD brand and how relevant it hopes to stand in Africa and globally. This wouldn't be to share strategies, but basically, what are the future prospects in enhancing the UESD brand to stay very relevant, very new, and always a point of attraction for other institutions in Africa?
Oh yeah. For me, the future is exciting, and for the university, so it is. We plan to remain relevant nationally and globally. I talked about our enabling act, Act 898. Recommending for us to ensure that we are in the area of environment, agro-entrepreneurship, and then sustainable development. So we are going to enhance this area through relevant programs. We are going to continue with our collaborations. We are we are going to have the research centers, set here, and collaborations between us and other institutions, so that their input helps to propel the university forward. We are going to have staff who are hope enabled, hope insured, and hope propelled. Through our work ethics, we are going to become the center of excellence and the center of choice for people. We will not beg, but people will come in because of the difference that we are going to make. Because our core values will not be just something that is going to be on the lips of people, but it is going to be a way of life. Training honest people who know how to take opportunities and take advantage of the opportunities given, who will persevere, not shortcuts, and who will be enterprising. Imagine all the graduates that you produce know what to do with their hands. We are going to change the world. Uesd, here we come.
Great. It's been great here with Mrs. Agyepong, Registrar of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, as we talk about the Uesd brand agenda. I know basically, if you were looking for a meaning to the abbreviation HOPE, you have it at H stands for honesty, O for opportunity, P for perseverance, and E for enterprise. And these are the tenets powering the Uesd brand agenda. And I appreciate you so much for your insights towards the Uesd brand agenda to the world and to the African continent in terms of university brand, and how important it is for universities to also focus on how they can intensively elevate their brand as well to stay competitive. Thank you so much for your time on our show, and you as well for watching us and also sending your contributions. We're glad because AAU TV brings you contents that are pours with so much information to transform, and I believe you enjoyed today's episode. Just keep watching us on AAU Talks on AAU TV. Have a nice day. Be safe. Bye.